All right. So Jason's going to intro us here in just a second. As soon as he sits back down, everything looks good.
My thing's a little too short here.
Ooh.
There we go.
All right. Now we're good.
All right, guys. Welcome to another Jags podcast, the live show,
Live.
but episode 81.
81.
And we are just cranking along through preseason. Training
Yeah.
camp's over. We're heading into preseason week 2, playing the Eagles tonight. I say tonight because on the podcast it's going to be released tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
But on the live show, it's going to be released. It's live. So
Yeah.
we're
So
playing
it'll
tomorrow
be
night.
actually tomorrow night if you're watching live, and tonight if you're on the podcast.
So, Joey, you said you have tickets to the game and a parking pass.
I literally
That's gold.
got a text that
Yeah.
said, hey, here's 3 free tickets and a parking pass. Would you like them?
And you said?
I had to debate. Like, I literally drove home from work, talked to my wife, no, I'm not going.
Wow.
Which is the State of the Union, right? I mean, that's kind of the argument right now. I mean, first of all, it's like rushing home from work, getting out there, rain, supposed to be rain, and nobody's starting, man. So, I mean, we can get this more detail, but yeah, I was like, I'm good. I appreciate the offer. I really appreciate it, because if it was next week and we were playing Miami here and people were actually playing, I'd be all about it. But yeah, I said I'm good.
Yeah, I wish there was more people playing. I have tickets, and I was going to go, plan on going, and turns out that I have a work meeting tomorrow that they planned at 6:30.
Well,
So that was nice of them. But it's not going to be too long. I'll be out by kickoff, and
So you can still watch it.
yeah, still going to watch it. And
The thing is, you paid for your tickets, so I mean, I think this is a rant for more later on in the
Yeah.
podcast, but
I mean, just the bottom line is there's too many preseason games.
there is.
That's the bottom line.
Especially if you pay for season tickets. If
Yeah.
you're a season ticket holder, I would be so mad right now, just in general, man. I mean, and that's the trend across the league. I paid this much money. These games count in my ticket total, and nobody's playing. Literally, nobody's going to be playing. Half the people are going to be working at grocery stores in a couple weeks. How can you be okay with that?
It's really weird. They should let the preseason ticket holders go to the preseason for free. Don't you think?
Absolutely.
Like, that would be something nice.
It should be just hey, if you buy a preseason ticket, we'll give you a bonus ticket for free so you can give to somebody to come.
Yeah.
And buy $13 beers and
That's a great
$8 whatever.
That's a
and
great marketing idea.
It'd be a fantastic one.
Yeah.
Why not, man? I mean, if you're going to do that, especially if you're going to go to 18 games with more preseason, I mean, something like that has to happen.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, they probably make so much revenue off of those games. Look, if the starters were playing a series or two,
I'd be there.
I would go.
I would absolutely be there.
I would change the work meeting. I'll tell them I can't be there because, I mean, work already knows I can't do anything Sundays. I'm even going to the Denver game this year, and I already took off for the couple days after. And it's going to be, they know, but I have no desire to go see Gardner Minshew toss 8 for 16, 107 yards, and to watch Tanner Lee throw a pick 6.
Dude, if you told me Foles was playing a series tomorrow night, I would make sure I was there 30 minutes early in my seats, catch that series, and then whatever happens after that, I'm good with.
Yeah, just hanging out.
So, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't get it. I mean, the whole thing is Marone doesn't want people to get hurt. His job's on the line. The whole staff's job's on the line. And I understand that. And the whole reps in preseason practice, they're not playing the games. They're getting 10 times as many reps in practice. Dude, that's not real.
Yeah.
I mean, that's as close to whatever, but
The quarterback's not getting hit.
no, he's not. He's not even allowed to get hit. I mean,
Can you imagine if Foles took the hit that Minshew took last week?
dude, Foles would be in a cryo chamber
It'd
right
be
now.
concussion
Which I love that
protocol.
because, Minshew didn't have a fantastic game last week. I mean,
No.
honestly, come on
No, it
now.
was
He
bad.
didn't do great. But, dude, he did show he's like the reverse Blake Bortles. He can't throw long. He's hard. He's kind of like him, but, more cool. I don't know, man. The fact that he took that hit, helmet knocked off, probably has a concussion, I would guess, and didn't, say anything, and then came back and threw that pass after that. Minshew's got some cojones, man.
Well, we're going to start with this question from Brent Papineau because it kind of has to do with that. And this is Brent Papineau, like we said, and he's at Brent Papineau. And he says, how many times will Gardner Minshew lose his helmet in week 2 of the preseason?
They don't.
If I were to give you the over-under,
I would say 5.
If he loses his helmet 5 times, they need to get a new helmet distributor.
But it's not about that.
You might as well put this thing on if you're going to lose your helmet 5 times.
I think it's that there's nobody starting that's going to protect him, man. I mean, what do you expect?
No. I mean,
and you're going to other teams that are starting people, and he's going to get rocked like multiple times. So, yeah, it'll probably pop off again.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play right now. I'd be so happy if I was one of the guys that didn't play.
Yeah.
So this next question is from UCF Jaguar, and he's at UCF_Jaguar. You may know him from his YouTube channel. Great YouTube channel.
He did some solid work this week, by the way.
His like reaction film.
His last two were probably the
it.
best he's done ever.
Dude, he's always been good, but he's like hit like a catalyst.
No, he really has
lately, and he's been. I mean, I love watching.
Like I was a
UCF
fan
Jaguar.
of his because he was a fan of us.
Yeah.
And the last two though have been like, I would watch this regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's definitely doing better.
He needs to get a gig like with the Jags.
But he's in the wrong city. You can't give a Jags in
That's
Orlando.
true. That's true. But I think he's coming up for the KC game, and he said he wants to get on the podcast.
Absolutely.
So he'll be.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we're gonna get him on here
for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, his question is: are you comfortable with Minshew as the backup quarterback, or do we need to try to bring in a guy for that role?
I'll love to take this one. Right now, no, I'm not comfortable. B, they're not gonna. There's not gonna be a lot of free like agency pickups from this point on. I just don't see it happening. Not at the quarterback spot for sure. I mean, we've got way too many other holes that might need to be filled. He is our backup quarterback. I mean, unless Foles goes down, like seriously goes down, there is no other quarterback pickup. So we hope Foles stays healthy and Minshew has some kind of ability to come in like garbage time and get some real practice and the rest of the preseason. He's our guy, man.
I'm like looking at this list of free agents, and
So there's nobody there.
There's nobody.
That's
Like
what I'm saying. Why would you do that?
you would have to trade for a guy like we. I mean, how many times have we said trade for Teddy Bridgewater in our lives?
Exactly. I mean,
If I had,
he's an honorary Jaguar at this point.
he's gonna get into the pride.
Yeah,
he's gonna be
exactly
the pride of the
When he
Jaguars.
retires, he's gonna be like, "Can I retire with the Jaguars? 1-day contract."
Yeah, I mean, it's just like there's. I mean, not a lot. I mean, Mike Glennon. Do you go get him from the Raiders?
Oh God, they're all awful, man.
I mean, Sam Bradford. Do you go get Sam Bradford?
He would cost too much.
I mean, okay, Walter Football has a list of free agent quarterbacks, and pretty much they've all signed with teams. These are the players that have yet to sign with teams in the top 10. Josh McCown, Sam Bradford.
Which I would take him if we could get him for $1 million, maybe. I mean,
And their third player ranked that is not signed to a team,
Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick.
Didn't even see the list. Knew that was the guy.
Colin Kaepernick. And, like, the Walter Football is not, like, political. They don't care.
Dude, but Colin Kaepernick's gonna ask for like $20 million for a year because that's him.
In no way do I want Colin Kaepernick on this team, but I just am speaking to the quality of free agent quarterbacks that's out there. Trevor Siemian, you may be able to get. I mean, you may be. Honestly, like I
don't know who that is.
Trevor Siemian?
Yeah,
he would play for the Broncos. He got drafted by the Broncos. John Elway tried to make him like. He tried to be like.
Is that after the Osweiler or?
Yes, he
Okay.
tried to be like, oh, diamond in the rough. I know quarterbacks, but all these players are signed with teams. And there's a chance that like Brett Hundley gets cut, Joe Webb gets cut, Kevin Hogan gets cut, David Fales gets cut. What about Mark Sanchez? Kick tires on Mark Sanchez?
I would take him as a backup. I mean, seriously, like
Honestly, we
Yes.
joke, but like if it's between Mark Sanchez and Gardner Minshew, like
I would take Sanchez or Bradford over him if it came to it, but we're going to need to fill other spots depth-wise. I mean, I think the last Baltimore game showed, if anything, we are weak in the depth department.
yeah, I mean they were talking about how nobody in the NFL has a backup quarterback. It's not how the NFL is nowadays, but I mean that's just not true.
It's not true.
Teddy Bridgewater, great player.
Look at Miami. They're the worst team in the league, and they have
Two quarterbacks.
two good quarterbacks.
Yeah. I mean, if Mariota goes down, you got Tannehill coming in.
Exactly.
If
Not
Goff
bad.
goes down, you have Bortles coming in.
Again,
like
serviceable for a few games.
Exactly. Like this, it's not every team's in the situation that where we are.
We've decided to pay defense an outstanding amount of money, and we know we have to pay further defender players an outstanding amount of money. So we can't afford to do anything at quarterback as a backup. So we better hope that Foles doesn't go down.
Yeah. And that's probably why he hasn't played maybe won't play a single
Which I
snap
get that.
preseason.
I mean, whatever.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's a veteran quarterback at this point. Like, you're not going to see Tom Brady coming in. He takes off all kinds of camps. He might decide on his own to play a couple snaps in the preseason, but that's our Foles. And whether he wants to or not, I'm sure he'd probably like to get in there with his wide receivers in some real situations for a few snaps against a real defense that isn't his, but they're not going to let him do it, man. It's not worth the risk, and I kind of agree. I mean, so what if our timing is not perfect on the first couple games? At least we have Foles healthy.
Patrick Jackson responded to that Minshew question with, and he's at @radius_Johansson. He says, it seems like it's quarterback one or bust for us as it is for a lot of teams. An additional question is, have you seen anything from any of our backup quarterbacks to suggest they will make it in the NFL as a starter or as a backup?
I'll go ahead and let you answer this one with Mr. Tanner Quick.
Okay.
Oh, I can't even get the statement out. Tanner Quick Release Lee.
Okay, Tanner Lee, look, you have to understand, although I am pegged as a pessimist for some strange reason, in reality, I am the biggest Jags optimist there is.
You were huge on him.
I was not huge on him.
Okay.
I was huge on Cody Kessler,
Well,
who we're going to
still,
get to
though.
see Thursday night, by the way, with the Eagles.
True.
But I was never big on Tanner Lee. What I do is I like to through our Twitter, which we haven't plugged yet. It's @AnotherJagsPod. It's a good Twitter to follow because I post cut-ups of players on our roster. Every single player that we have throughout the year, at some point, we'll get a cut-up of them playing. And I'll kind of tell the fans what type of player they are. Okay?
Breaks it down quickly and efficiently.
And whatever the character limit is, that's what I do it in, with a nice video. When I put Tanner Lee up there, I like to say something positive about the players because let's be real, the players are on Twitter. Okay? Yeah. And I'm not, I get people talk trash about us and they talk trash about our team and our podcast, but that's not the type of person I am.
No.
Okay?
And we do get responses from players.
Absolutely.
Like quite a bit.
And they honestly, like, we get messages from them that appreciating us doing that.
All about Twitter.
Yeah. And so I, at no point, said Tanner Lee was good or that I was obsessed with him. I did find, through watching film of Tanner Lee, I did notice that he gets rid of the ball pretty quick. Okay, that's the only thing. He's not that accurate. He doesn't throw that well on the move. He doesn't really have great pocket presence. But he does get rid of the ball quick. Okay? And the man has been in the NFL for 2 years now, and against all odds has been at a professional level. So whatever you want to say about him, I understand he's trash, and people like to trash him. But he does have some things that are good about him. He's playing in the NFL. He's an NFL quarterback.
I think he's a fantastic practice squad quarterback. He is not a backup, come in, manage the game, win 2 out of 4 for you while your starting quarterback comes back and gets healthy.
Absolutely not.
I think Minshew could be that guy, except for the fact that he's a rookie and needs some time to get in the groove, man. I mean, I really do think he can. He's got tenacity. He throws the short routes really well. You can scheme for him for a few games against the right team, but no, I mean, we don't have a stud backup or this, hey, third-round pick Jim that's going to shine, and, we're not the Patriots, bro.
Minshew threw those short routes good in college, but he did not throw any good routes.
I didn't say he did.
No.
I'm saying he is capable
It was his first
of
game,
the
though.
short route, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he was overwhelmed. He was getting his helmet knocked off. I mean,
yeah.
Dude, the guy's tough.
Yeah.
And I like that in that spot. I mean, why I like that is that translates to the rest of the team. We know our quarterback is going to do everything he can. That's the only reason Bortles was halfway good for us, was that everybody knew that he was going to leave everything on the field. He wasn't going to go out with a gimp ankle or calf injury like an unnamed quarterback in Indianapolis. We'll get into that later. But
yeah, and I'll just say real quick, like, I'm not like a doctor. Shocker, I'm not a doctor. If you didn't know, I'm not a doctor. But I have been around sports a long time. Whenever there's an injury, and I've seen this before. I've seen this before, like multiple times. Whenever there's an injury that goes between the calf and the ankle,
it's the ankle injury that they didn't diagnose to start with.
No,
correct?
you know what it has been every time that's happened?
Achilles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's no joke.
I think there was a basketball team that had to deal with that, right? Like, who was that?
No, but like I'm talking specifically like, oh, my calf hurts. Oh, now my ankle hurts. Oh, my calf, and like kind of bouncing back and forth. where like the player can't really diagnose that it's their Achilles tendon. So,
or he is a complete wuss and doesn't heal well, and that's his MO.
he doesn't heal well.
Dude, some guys don't heal well, man. Like some guys just are incapable of like healing quickly. It's just they're
He's not Adrian Peterson.
exactly. They're not, biologically, they're not built. If they get injured, they stay injured. It doesn't ever heal right, and it seems to be him. I mean, it's a Hall of Fame career that isn't going to happen because every time he gets dinged up, it's like severe.
Yeah. Is that? Yeah. I was gonna.
Which is great for us.
Yeah, I know. I wish he would just go to like the NFC and like do well over there or somewhere else.
I agree because I'd root for him there.
Yeah. Okay, Treeb Talks. He's at Treeb Talks. Another Jags YouTuber.
Yeah.
Another good Jags YouTuber. He says, which 2 quarterbacks would you take to be our second and third string? Let me give you a list here. Blaine Gabbert, Gardner Minshew, Chad Henne, Trent Edwards, Luke McCown. Are you seeing a motif
Blaine Gabbert
there?
about made me choke to death because I'd rather go 0-16 than have Blaine Gabbert on the team ever again.
Agreed.
Can you read the list again? Because I
Gabbert.
blacked out when you said Gabbert.
Blaine Gabbert's out.
Okay.
Gardner Minshew, Cody Kessler, Chad Henne, Trent Edwards, Luke McCown. The question is, which of our backups over the last 5 years would you have?
I'd honestly rather have Henne than Minshew, but
I didn't like Henne.
But Henne could get in there with our defense and a good running game and receivers that have matured. Hopefully, Henne could like at least win a couple games.
People forget in like 2017 in the preseason they tried to give the job to Henne. Like people forget about that.
No,
like they named Henne the starter in like the preseason game.
That was just to motivate Bortles, man.
I don't know, man.
Are you
I don't
seriously
know.
telling me you would not take Henne over Minshew right now?
Dude, Henne was not good, man. Henne had good moments
He's the
when
best.
he first
he's the
came.
best on that list.
See, I think you're confusing Henne with like early Henne, like 07 Henne, 08 Henne, Michigan 06 Henne.
I'm definitely like Miami Henne for sure.
Yeah, I think that's what you're confusing, like big arm Henne. The Henne win in Jacksonville was not that guy.
But on that list, dude, Luke McCown,
Luke
Gabbert?
McCown,
Gabbert's probably the
Here's
best
my
on
answer.
the list. But
Here's my answer.
I would never.
No,
I
disagree.
would stop the podcast if we had Gabbert
I
on the team
disagree.
again.
Okay, here's what I would say. I would say Cody Kessler. I would want as my second string, and I would want Luke McCown as my third string.
Kessler, you're in love with Kessler.
Okay, just wait. Just
Dude,
wait.
look what he looked like last year.
Just wait.
Of course, he's on the right team now.
Wait till we play him. Wait till we see.
Dude,
Was Kessler given a fair shot at all?
no,
At all.
he was not.
Eric Flowers and
He
Patrick
was thrown
Omame.
behind one of the worst lines
And to
ever
receivers that
to
can't
start.
catch, and to
I
literally
agree.
running backs that had 2 cleats.
I
But hey,
agree.
do you have 2 cleats? You're playing running back for
I
us.
agree, but if he was any good, he would have been starting
I
over
disagree.
Bortles, who is in that class of backup quarterbacks.
No, that's not true because they had to give Bortles the starting job because of the amount of money they were paying him. You can't give Bortles $15 million
Dude,
and then
they
say,
started
oh,
Kessler because he sucked.
They started Kessler because he got hurt. Oh yeah, because he sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that was when the season was over and they knew he was gone. That was different, completely different. That's when the season was over. They tried to play Bortles as long as they could.
Dude, Kessler's garbage.
You looking
All
at
those quarterbacks are garbage.
you looking at that fly on my table?
I am. I'm trying
Yeah.
to. I was thinking about smacking it.
Yeah.
But the answer to the question is all those quarterbacks are garbage. Period.
I think okay. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I think Cody Kessler is going to surprise people.
He's not. Well, I guess
He's never been given a fair chance. He's played
So-
with the Browns and with the trash Jaguars.
so.
Give him a chance, dude. When that dude gets
Is he?
outside
Is he gonna pull a Foles? Like,
Dude,
somebody gets hurt and leads them to the Super
dude.
Bowl?
Watch Carson Wentz get hurt at the end of the season and Cody Kessler come in and lead them. Then you're going to have to eat all your words.
dude, I will eat the microphone if that happens. I don't know if that's possible, but that would be amazing.
All right, well, let's move on to the Eagles game. Jags playing the Eagles Thursday night.
Well, are the Jags playing the Eagles?
The backup Jags are playing the backup Eagles. Okay, let me just get it off the top
I
here.
mean, that's really the question of the entire. Excuse me, the entire podcast.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on? Sorry for the language, guys.
There goes our family-friendly clean rating.
I mean,
no, I'm just kidding.
It's sort of a.
No,
I
I
mean,
think
really,
you're okay
though.
with that one.
I mean, I think
Like,
that's
what's
how
going on
every,
with what?
every fan feels. It's like, why are they doing what they're doing?
But as far as like not playing players
Yes,
or
man.
what?
Like it.
I think you mentioned it earlier. Like we have no depth at these positions. We are capped out. We cannot afford to bring in free agents. We can't afford, both literally and figuratively, we cannot afford Foles to get hurt.
Well, I agree with Foles. Okay, don't start Foles. Let's see, because okay, we paid him a ton of money. We have to believe he's our guy. So yeah, don't start him. But, dude,
Who are you gonna play? Marquise Lee? He can't walk.
that's my point.
Cam
is like,
Robinson? He has no left knee.
yeah.
Andrew Norwell?
Norwell?
He's all we have.
A phantom injury at this point?
No, I'd say hold Norwell out because Norwell's. See, people forget how good this offensive line was before they got hit with that injury.
Okay, what's
bug.
the key to offensive line play?
A good cohesive unit. that
Exactly.
knows what
How do you
they're
get
doing.
cohesive?
You go through training camp together.
And you play together against starting.
We can't afford. I have to give credit to Taylor2121 on the Jags subreddit. He posted this about the Jags offensive line. He says the Jags offensive line is not bad. They gave up the fewest sacks in franchise history in 2017. He said most of the line returned, but almost all of them were out by the middle of the year. In 2018, weeks 1 and 2, they gave up 1 sack, and Bortles was hit 8 times out of 78 passes before they got hurt.
I'm not knocking the offensive line. That really wasn't my focus with that
But
comment.
what I'm saying is like that's why they're not playing.
My focus is the guys who have played 1 year, like limited snaps, that are going to get tons of snaps this year. Like more so on defense than anything. I mean, wide receivers are going to play tomorrow, right? I mean, they haven't called out.
I don't think Westbrook will play. Pryor's hurt.
I don't think Westbrook needs to play.
No, and I think Pryor's hurt.
Okay, well,
So I think Chark plays, and
okay, great.
does Conley play?
Yes, absolutely.
I hope so. I haven't seen it. I mean, I hope so.
My point is more our secondary and our linebackers, man. There's guys who want to play. Jared, I'm drawing a blank right now.
Gerard Wilson.
Jared.
Yeah.
He actually went to the coaching staff today and said, dude, I've played 10 games in my career, limited snaps. Can I please get some, like, real-life experience?
That's crazy.
I mean, as a player, if I was that guy, if I was healthy, I'd be like, dude, no, I don't want to just practice. I'm getting thrown into the mix day one, and my career's on the line. Can I get some real-time experience?
I don't know, man. Like that's valiant, and I appreciate that.
It's not
And
valiant. It's like
it
he's
is,
scared.
though,
Like
because
he
you're
like,
not. You're this. Any stats you put up aren't going on
it
your
doesn't
like.
matter
record.
about stats, though. It matters about like game experience. Like I need to make sure I'm ready for the real time.
But
That's what they're thinking.
How many of those snaps do you need, though? I mean, you've been playing football your whole life, and I understand that the NFL speed's different.
It
but
is
how
way
many snaps
different.
do you need? Like
If
I
you're
feel
a-
like the week 3 preseason and a little bit of week 4 would suffice.
But they're not getting that.
I think you'll see those guys in week 3. I don't think you'll see Foles. But I think you'll see.
But nobody plays in week 4.
I mean, they might play. I mean,
week 2 has always been what you play like.
yeah, but
maybe
that's all.
a series.
That's all out the window. People don't even follow that
Mm.
anymore. People do not follow that anymore. The whole thing of like people playing week 3, like mostly. Some teams don't do that anymore. Like it's a team by team thing. The Rams don't play anybody at any time.
Okay, so maybe I'm a little old school, but I think week 3, everybody should play except for maybe Fournette, Foles, Campbell, Darius. That's it. And maybe Jalen, because we can
What
rely
about
on
Miles
Jalen.
Jack?
Miles Jack definitely needs to play, man.
Mm.
I know we're
man,
limited in that
dude.
position,
He's
but he needs to play for the guys around him. That's the whole thing, man. Like, they need to get the experience in a real game of him telling them what to do. Like, hey, here's a play action call at the line of scrimmage. Like, it's not what we thought it was going to be. Go here.
That's a solid point. And maybe Miles Jack will play, but
I don't think he personally needs to play for his role.
right. I see what you're
But
saying.
everybody
though.
around him is going to need that because that's where we're like weakest and got a lot of young dudes, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's hurting us with this whole like blanket statement of we're going to play any of our starters, obviously because we don't have depth, and Maroon's been like tagged for all these injuries, and his tough training can't be in the case, and whatever it is, and their jobs are on the line. I get all that. And if I was the coach, I'd probably do the same thing. But I think we are going to be lagging behind because of our lack of – I mean, we're young, man. We're pretty young all around.
Yeah. It's a long season, though. I mean, you can afford to start slow. I mean, how many times did the Patriots start slow?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You
I mean,
know?
we went 3-1 last year, then tanked the rest of the season.
Exactly.
But
I mean, the Patriots
we
looked
don't have-
terrible against us in week
yeah, but
2.
we don't have the mentality or the mojo of the Patriots,
week
man.
3.
We don't have the history to rely on.
We don't.
As
Tom
soon as we
Brady.
lose 2 games, everybody's like, "Oh, it's another Jaguar season."
Yeah.
And if that infuses their mentality in the locker room, could get ugly.
Another Jaguars season on another Jaguars podcast.
Exactly. And we're talking about like whatever week 4. I don't think that's going to happen, honestly. We're being positive. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm kind of playing the devil's advocate here, but I don't necessarily agree with Marone's. I assume it's his call. I don't think Coughlin's making the call. I think it's Marone, and we got a new offensive coordinator, got a new quarterback. You got receivers that are all second year for the most part. I mean, you're starting actual draft picks. Dude, those guys need real snaps.
Yeah, well, I think you're right, but we can't get anybody hurt. I mean, last year was probably our best chance at winning a Super Bowl, and because of injuries, we didn't.
Hey, you know what happened in 2017?
Bortles caught fire in a bottle.
Hard training camp. A normal preseason with you play these people this time, you play them this time, you play them this time. Everybody sits 4th game, and we went to the AFC Championship game. So
we did the same thing in 2018.
Exactly.
And
so I
lost
don't think there's
Marquise
any
Lee.
correlation whatsoever. Is my point. It's bad luck or good luck.
But I think you increase your odds by.
So you don't think you can get hurt in practice? Like, yeah, Foles isn't getting hurt, but he's running outside the pocket, and
you can definitely get hurt in practice.
Yes, you can.
But you're not
playing
going to get
man's game.
Yeah, but it's just the likelihood goes down, and you have. I'm okay with starting slow. I'm okay with like the first 2 weeks of the season being like shake the rust off games when you're playing on such a long season. I'm okay with that. We don't need to come out of the gate swinging. Take some time because it's valuable. I'd rather you be healthy for when the games matter than because I mean who knows what can happen. A player can go off and you catch a game. Who knows? Who knows? Jeff Swaim goes off week 1 and we beat the Chiefs. Then what? Then we just won one of the games, hardest games on our schedule. And we're looking good, and we have so much optimism and momentum going into it. I don't know. I understand your point, but I advocated what Marone's doing now. I advocated that last year and the year before. And I've been a staunch, well-known opponent of the hard training camp for as long as I've been following the team. So, all right, we got to take a break. We're going to come back to talk about like what we want to see in the Eagles game and kind of what the matchups that could happen in the Eagles game and what to look for because I've talked to a lot of people and they said they might not even watch the game, which, I mean, obviously we're going to watch the game, but I get it. I get the point. So we're going to come back to that. There's going to be some quick ads on here. If you're listening to the podcast, support these ads and give us a 5-star rating and a 5-star review. And also, if you're watching the live show, we're going to take just a couple-minute break, and then we'll be right back. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you in a little bit.
All right, so we're back on video and audio according to our sound tech and video tech, Jason.
Hey.
We've got multiple hats. So welcome everybody back. We kind of talked about what's happened preseason so far, kind of our thoughts on Maroon's like philosophy, and now we're kind of leading to the Philly game. I mean, yeah.
The return of Cody Kessler to Duval.
So you don't think Karsten's going to play at all?
I do not think so, no.
I mean, if we're going by the general league like consensus of don't want to get by hurt, I mean, he's been the most hurt of the young studs in the past 2 seasons, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's had serious injury, serious ACL injury. I doubt he plays. But we'll have a nice Nate Sudfeld-Gardner Minshew matchup.
Which, again, I mean, until just a few minutes ago, Nate Sudfeld was new to me. He looked okay in, I guess, the preseason game beforehand. But, dude, I just have a hard time with this whole don't play like you're decent people in the second game.
It's just too much. It's just too much. I mean,
just get rid of them, man. I mean,
that's the bottom line. I mean, that really is the bottom line. But this is what I want to see in the game. I really don't want to see this 2 tight end set thing that we saw a bunch of. So I get 2 tight end sets are like popular now because tight ends are like athletes and they can do a lot of different things. But
kind of got to have like 2 good tight ends.
You gotta have at least one.
At least one legit.
Like we were just watching the Eagles Titans game from last week, and Dallas Goedert frankly just went off. He looked really good.
Which, for the record, I was a ginormous fan of drafting him last year.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And you know a lot of people liked Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's kind of a multi-tool guy who can run, block, and pass catch. But he looked good.
But we don't have anybody close to that.
We don't.
So, yeah.
We don't. We have Jeff Swaim, and we have Ben Koyak, and we have James O'Shaughnessy. Apparently,
and Swain could possibly, right?
Swaim played more fullback last game than he did actual inline tight end.
Really?
Yeah, I mean he lined up in that H-back spot as a fullback.
So just straight blocker.
No, I mean they did play actions where he'd go out for a little flat route or whatever it was, but
who's that gonna fool?
I mean, it's not gonna fool anybody. It's gonna get us 3 yards. Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if DiFilippo has overvalued the tight ends here or if he's just playing super vanilla for preseason.
Hopefully, I mean,
no, because there's the thing though, 'cause coaches are arrogant. People don't realize how arrogant coaches are.
Even in preseason?
Yes, coaches are gonna run their formations. They may not run their bread and butter plays, but they're gonna run their formations because they want to see what it looks like with their guys in their formations. And the amount of 2 tight end sets they ran last game, I have a feeling that we're gonna see that a lot in the year with no tight ends. Now, is Josh Oliver gonna be something?
Well, he's expected to be.
And he hasn't played at all. He's been hurt all preseason. Yeah, I mean,
add that to the list of everybody else on the team.
Both of our 3rd round picks, him and Quincy Williams, haven't even played at all. And so it's hopefully not a problem, but I don't want to see 2 tight ends set. I want to see 10 formation. I want to see a running back. I want to see no tight ends. I want to see 2x2. I want to see trips. I want to see trips bunch. I want to see our receivers out there in space. We got every receiver on our team would be the starting kick returner on another team.
That's true.
I mean, that's the type of receiver we have. You even talked
speed.
about that.
No,
we have speed at wide receiver. Why are we lined up in a single back 2 tight ends? Why are we doing this? Get out there, run.
Because they're not starting a quarterback that can throw it more than 20 yards.
Well, that's maybe true. But
it's absolutely true.
At least run it. I mean, you can run drags and crossings and things like that. I mean, get your guys in space.
Okay, Rawls.
Screens at least.
Well, let's go to that. I mean, Rawls was back for the first time last week, right?
I don't think Rawls played.
He had a couple. Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
He had a couple series, but Baloo's not going to run by anybody.
No.
I mean, we don't.
No.
Fournette's not playing, so Rawls is our only chance to somebody who can make a cut and blow somebody away.
I like Raquel Armstead.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's going to be a good player. I know people are
isn't it Rock?
No, you're thinking of Rock Thomas, who got cut.
Okay.
Some people do call. I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe I'm confusing the two.
Maybe Rock Armstead. I've heard Rock Armstead.
I think
it might be his
way,
nickname.
Dude, we're talking about 4th string running backs.
I think Armstead will end up being the number 2.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think Rawls will?
No. Nope. Because here's the thing. Well,
that's a bold statement for everybody listening right now.
Well, not really.
Not sitting on the fence. That is actually a bold statement.
And here's why. And I have to kind of preface it with this: is I went into the season thinking that Raquel Armstead was going to be our best pass blocking back because that's what he was known for in college. and he played the zone running scheme primarily out of shotgun formation at Temple and excelled in it. However, he did not look that good in pass blocking last game.
If we're running,
this is not Temple, my guy, and I was hoping he would translate a little bit better. He's a rookie; it was his first game in live bullets. Let's give him a chance. But
plus, if we're running a 2 tight end set, do we really need a blocking running back as well?
If it's like a 5-step drop, I mean, if it's your old school offense where you have 2 receivers and you have 2 tight ends and you're doing a 5-step drop play action. Your tight ends are going to the flats and your receivers are running posts like it's 1950. then yeah, a blocking running back may help you in that situation.
we wouldn't have gotten rid of Tommy Bowe if that was
I
the
don't
case.
know what we're doing. I don't know what the
Which
plays
I
we're
think
calling.
that's kind of the point, though.
It's almost like Dewey Filippo got fired for being terrible at calling plays in the past or something.
He did. But I think that's the point. Like, I don't think people Marone, he's like Columbo. Like, I don't think people give him enough credit for, like, the chess player that he is. I think he really is playing chess at this point. He knows this is his last season. He's like, dude, screw it. I'm not playing any of the starters. Yeah. Nobody knows what our offense is going to be because we have a new offensive coordinator. We have a new quarterback. I really think it's a chess match. I mean, I think it's like, dude, what point is it in showing anything at this point? Let's just show all this crap, the vanilla playbook, and then we'll shock people day one.
Let me throw this name at you at running back. Devontae Mays. Doing anything for you? Okay, Devontae Mays. Okay, so I was going back and watching the film, as I always do. Got to the 4th quarter. Yeah, I'm still watching the film.
He's on the Jaguars?
Yes, Devontae Mays.
Did he like sleep on the sidewalk and like get like?
He's been like I think he was with the Packers last.
Oh, so he wasn't like homeless, made the squad. No backstory.
I don't. He may. I haven't spent enough time into his backstory to invest that. But
sounds like a backstory guy.
He probably is, and if we get into it, if he plays well,
if he makes a team, I'm finding it out.
He probably won't make the team. But here's what he did do though. In like the 4th quarter, there was a play where he chipped a blitz defensive end, and he laid this dude out.
Nice.
Yeah, and we posted it on our Twitter. You can go back and watch it. And he destroyed some defensive end. And I was like, well, that's the best pass blocking back I've seen on the Jaguars and probably since Maurice Jones-Drew blew up Sean Merriman. It was that type of play.
Really?
Yeah. And he blew him up on a chip, like put him on his rear.
So it was like 2 4th stringers instead of 2 starters.
Yeah, and it probably was like 2 5th stringers, to be honest. I mean, I don't think Devontae Mays is may not make it out of week 3 preseason.
So kind of get back on track for the game coming up.
Oh, Devontae Mays wasn't on track for you?
No, I mean like
okay.
Nobody's looking forward to
wow,
that tomorrow.
Don't tell that to Devontae.
Like nobody's like rushing home from work, like eating dinner, putting the kids like, hey, play the iPad. I'm watching Devontae. What's his last name?
Devontae Mays.
Mays.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Poor guy.
So my point is this, like, I get this. Okay, say I understand and agree with sitting all the starters.
Yeah.
Let's get to that point.
Yeah.
Obviously I don't, but let's say I do.
That was first segment talk.
How do you really get a good look at your 2nd, 3rd, 4th string guys when they're not playing with anybody around them? I mean, you plug a 2nd or 3rd string guy into a normal starting offense or defense, they're going to look completely different than they do when they're playing around a bunch of guys who aren't going to be there in a couple weeks.
I think to answer your question is they have to like go off.
So they need to like show out.
Yeah, they need to go. They need to like absolutely go off. And we were watching the Titans and the Eagles, and the Titans were playing a lot of starters, man.
Yeah, they were.
Adam Humphries played well. They had Mariota in there for a while.
Yeah.
Tannehill looked good. They had most of their line was in there. Like they were playing their starters.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have to go off, and like Keelan Cole went off in 2017.
This year, not so much, dropping balls again.
But look, I'm the only one in the world right now that's like a Keelan Cole believer. I think he's going to bounce back this year.
I hope so.
I think he will.
I really hope so.
I do, and I've talked about that ad nauseum, I think, on this podcast, but. Let's just all I'm saying is let's not write off Keelan Cole so quickly. Okay, let's just chill for a minute. Like I know he dropped some balls, but
so like Revis would be an example of that in the last game.
CJ Revis, yeah, I mean he looked really good.
Dude, he looked like he knew what play was going to happen.
He looked
before it happened.
He looked like he belonged amongst the
okay.
starters.
So I could see that, I guess.
But like Josh Allen,
Yeah, first
Looked
couple plays of
good.
the game.
Yeah.
Got in the backfield, sack for a loss, or not a sack, but a tackle for a loss. I mean,
conversely, we saw two people who we expected to play at a higher level than everyone else around
can
them.
I start
and-
with a guess on one of them?
Yeah, I think you're gonna
Taven
get this right.
Bryan.
Yeah, Taven Bryan. And we talked a little bit on the last podcast that me and Mike did about how Taven Bryan wasn't as bad as people think.
Dude.
He got some pressures on Lamar Jackson, and you have to understand about this Greg Roman Ravens offense is they get the ball out quick. Like their entire offense is predicated on taking away the speed edge rushers. Okay, that's what you got to remember. They're quick inside, they're quick hitters, they're screens, quick slants, 3-step drops. Like you're not going to get a lot of sacks in the playing a Greg Roman offense, but they're not going to throw the ball deep.
I'd like pressures.
Yeah, no, but Taven Bryan had pressures. Taven Bryan had good pressures, and they ran the ball away from him. Taven Bryan was running more laterally than he was vertically. That's basically my point. And it wasn't really all his fault. I'm not saying Taven Bryan played well, because Taven Bryan should be like showing out in preseason.
Dude, at this point, he should be like Fowler,
Yeah,
right? Except for like the off the field getting arrested
Right.
type of stuff.
No,
I mean,
he should
honestly.
he should be blowing up,
Yeah.
no doubt about it. But he's not as. I mean, that's the only thing you can say the not,
Dude,
because
we
I
could
don't
have
think
had
he played
Goddard.
that
We
bad.
could have had Sonny Michel. I'm bitter about that pick. A lot of people are.
Yeah,
And
okay.
we need to see something like legit out of him this
But
year.
but to be fair, I mean, when he was drafted, most people were like, he's going to be a project.
He is, but
And
dude,
so you can't write him off after a
but they
year.
also said he was like a freak of nature, like physically.
He is, man.
Dude, but
he plays like he.
then be out of position, but look like you're a freak of nature. He doesn't look like that, dude. He looks like he's slow.
He's not though, man. He got pressures. He was double teamed a lot. Another guy who just completely underwhelmed was Will Richardson, and I even heard someone say it's insane. Like I don't understand what some of these like people are watching. So someone on the radio. I'm not gonna mention their
Everybody's
name 'cause
pumping him up. Big
I'm not
time.
gonna.
No, they all like. There's multiple.
Dude,
people.
they said he looked good. Like
They said like he's had like the best camp ever. Like he's finally ready to shine. And you're right, dude. He did not look good in the game.
I love watching film, and I love watching offensive line and defensive line film. And I can tell you 100% Will Richardson did not look good in that game.
He did not.
He
You're
did
right.
not. And
I think they're just happy that like he's healthy and there.
I think they're just happy they can see him playing because
Yeah.
he never played last year. And I think they want to hype him up as this like 4th-round pick depth, which is dumb to me. But like
But with our depth, I mean that kind of ties in, right? I mean that's kind of something.
our offensive line depth is so much better than Will Richardson. Tyler Shatley is 5 times the player that Will Richardson is. Josh Wells is 5 times the player Will Richardson is. They're trying to move him into guard. The dude never played a snap of guard in college in his life. He never played a snap of left tackle in his life.
I actually heard on the way home today that people were looking forward to him moving people against Philadelphia.
Like actually like moving them from house to house from their U-Haul.
Yes.
That's about it.
Maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe like helping them move heavy stuff.
Maybe
I don't know.
because it's
But I
Yeah.
mean like that's how high people are now, or at least that's what they're saying.
like he may have developed this because I didn't see it. I haven't seen it. But the dude has like the offensive line play. A lot of it is like your ability to use your hands. Like I mean I know it's common sense, but like how good you are with your hands. Like if you're an offensive lineman has good hands, if he can get his hands on your pads, if he can not
That's
let go,
technique though,
if he can
right? I mean,
punch, there's all different things. If he can scoop, whatever it is. Will Richardson cannot use his hands.
and again,
He leans his shoulders on you. Like, how are you going to play
he-
offensive line?
he should be playing right tackle, correct?
He should be playing in the Jax Beach Men's League 7-on-7
I mean,
flag
if he
football.
is everything that they're saying about him, his ideal position is right tackle, correct? And
Yes.
they're saying he's going to be pushed to right guard, which
Yes.
shows that he's not doing what he should.
The same people that moved AJ Cann to center from right guard, and he.
Well, center's a backup because Leonard's not going to be there after.
But
this
Shatley
year.
can play center.
Yeah.
Cann looks so terrible at center; it was embarrassing. I don't like hating on people, but AJ Cann at center was horrible, absolutely horrible. He like dips his head down, faces the crown of his helmet at the D lineman. How are you so bad at one position and like mediocre at the? I don't know. Don't get me started.
So this is why I don't intro a segment, is because I get the segment completely off topic, and it's
okay.
awesome.
It's okay.
So
all right, let's get back.
I'll
let's get back.
refocus.
All
So
right, let's get
Philly and the Jaguars
Yeah.
tomorrow night,
back. Mhm.
or tonight if you're listening to the podcast.
Right.
Are you excited?
Yeah. I love Jaguars football.
Okay, please tell me why you're excited.
Because I want to
honestly,
see Josh Allen versus Andre Dillard. That matchup's going to be amazing.
But for one series, that's it.
I think they'll get into it a little bit. Like,
I'd love to see Josh Allen blow
no,
by.
The Eagles fans are pumped about Andre Dillard. He was a left tackle out of Washington State. So I think I have to. Yeah, but
we'll go with that.
Yeah, and he was. A lot of people considered him to be one of the best left tackles in the draft.
Okay.
Definitely known more for pass blocking than run blocking, but that matchup versus Josh Allen is going to be great because a lot of people had Josh Allen as the best D end in the draft. So
that's exciting.
Washington State, look at that. He was blocking for our boy Gardner.
Man, high five for that.
Yeah. So he was first round pick, 22nd pick overall. A lot of people.
Do you think
him.
Minshew has given Allen the lowdown? Here's his weaknesses. Here's how you exploit that guy.
Do I think Minshew's given Allen lowdown on?
Yes. Not the other team, of course not.
Gardner Minshew is very smart. He got a 42 on the Wonder League.
No, that's what I said. He's very strong.
Yeah.
He's very solid, and he's as smart as hell.
I would say that he probably doesn't know offensive line good enough to talk about weaknesses, but maybe
He's a quarterback. How does he know the offensive line's good enough to?
he may know if he's good or not, but I don't think he knows his technical weaknesses.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe, I don't know, dude. I'm talking about things I don't know what I'm talking about.
Trying to pump Minshew's strengths.
Dude, yeah, no, but the Andre Dillard, Josh Allen matchup is gonna be good. I'm also excited to see. I want to see Leon Jacobs. I need to see more out of him, man. I need to see more out of Taven Bryan. I need to see more out of Will Richardson. I love watching this kind of stuff because those guys are going to get quality snaps. I think you'll see guys like Gerard Wilson maybe play a little bit. You might see Ronnie Harrison play a little bit.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Raquel Armstead. And I think, look, we all know injuries are part of the team. Every NFL team is going to have injuries. Every single one. Not one will be exempt from injuries. So we always talk about how these guys are late round picks and they're terrible and they're practice squad guys. But the reality of it is we're going to see them at some point in the games because of injuries. And we're always scratching our heads saying, wow, this guy we thought was just literally a practice squad player is now serving. Look at Gerard Wilson. What was rewind this podcast a year ago when we did our DB breakdown and Gerard Wilson came across it.
Yeah, we didn't think it'd be on the team.
We didn't think anything about it. We were like, oh, he's a decent guy in the box, tackles well.
That's a good point.
And now he's a starter.
Yeah.
Ronnie Harrison, starter.
Well, we all said Ronnie Harrison was going to be a stud.
Yeah, he was good, but did we think he was going to be a starter last year? No. We thought Church and Gibson was going to carry that. We thought eventually Harrison would take over for Church, but we didn't think it would be as early as it was.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So you never know. These guys we're watching now could be guys that are starters next year.
I just wonder how much you can deem from that when you got Cody Kessler throwing the ball.
Are you talking about Cody?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Cody either.
We'll see. Who do you think starts, Cody Kessler or Nate Sudfeld?
Considering I didn't even know who Nate Sudfeld was before we watched him 5 minutes before this segment, I would have gone with Cody Kessler, and I would think Cody would because they don't know what he can do. They saw him a few snaps in the Jags behind the worst team ever at that point. I would think Cody gets the majority of the snaps.
So I can't remember, and I hate myself for not remembering. I can't remember if it was preseason or if it was regular season. I want to say preseason, but Nate Sudfeld came in last year for the Eagles and threw 3 touchdowns, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, the Eagles have so much depth at quarterback," and
they did,
obviously, and they did. But he's not a bad player. They got a good team around him. They got stable running backs. They have Sony Michel's little brother who looked decent against the Titans. Yeah. They lost to the Titans. Don't get me wrong.
But the Titans were starting way more starters than they were.
And the Titans kind of looked good, which is kind of scary.
Titans kind of pulled like a Baltimore, though. Baltimore played a lot of starters.
That's true.
Kind of good. It's skewed. Preseason. Yeah. Honestly, we've had preseasons where we go 3-1 or 4-0, and everybody's like, Jags are back. Jags are going to dominate, and then we win 5 games during the season. I'm almost glad that we might go 0-4 in the preseason.
We just got an update.
Ooh.
Live update. This is why we do live shows.
This is my favorite part.
Nate Sudfeld is out with an injury. Thank you, Brent Papino. At
Cody
Brent Papino.
Kessler starter.
Yeah.
God, I'm actually excited about watching now, just so I can talk crap to you.
Nice.
I almost busted
censorship.
it out.
We almost lost our.
Almost lost it.
We almost lost our clean rating there,
Almost
boys.
lost it on my fault.
We almost lost it. All right, Tony McDomick. I'm sorry, Tony. Says love the show, guys.
All right, Tony. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Tony. We appreciate it. We appreciate you watching. You're the best. Brent Papino says he cited an article from The Athletic, and he says how a Nick Foles phone call and a Nate Sudfeld injury made Cody Kessler the front runner to be the Eagles' number 2 quarterback. The Eagles' decision to add Cody Kessler this spring and the path that could lead to Kessler becoming the team's backup quarterback on opening day could be traced back to February 27th.
I just picture Cody Kessler right now in his house that's probably nicer than anything I'll ever own in my entire life, curled up on his super nice rug in the fetal position, just shaking. Like, oh my God, I've got to start again.
You have the wrong
his
perception
wife
of
trying to
my boy
console
Cody
him
Kessler.
or girlfriend, whoever.
Are you kidding
Cody,
me?
You're not behind the Jags line. This is the Philly line.
He
and
played
him, and him
behind
just
the-
PTSD. I can't do it.
You are talking about Cody Kessler, who played behind the worst Cleveland Browns team of all time.
That was not as bad as the Jaguars team he played behind when he did.
I don't know, dude.
Dude, it was not as bad.
Dude, Cody Kessler's been on some bad teams. I doubt right now he's shuddering in fear. He's probably thinking, let's go. He's probably praying to God saying, this is the moment that I've been waiting for my entire NFL career.
He's just channeling his inner Nick Foles.
Dude,
this
are
is
you
my
kidding
shot.
me? He's playing on the best team he's ever been on since he's been in the NFL. His USC teams were probably better than his lines. That USC were probably better than the Jags. And
I retract
Browns.
everything I said earlier. I'm actually excited about the game tomorrow night.
Just for Cody
just
Kessler.
so I can dog Jason next week.
Okay,
about
I want
Cody
you guys to
Kessler.
watch a couple things on Cody Kessler. Okay, I broke down a lot of film of Cody Kessler. When he gets outside of the pocket, he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks outside of the pockets I've ever seen.
Unless
I have
he's
ever seen.
hurried anyway and he throws it 10
No, I'm
yards
telling
over
you,
the
dude,
receiver's
on the
hands.
run.
Dude, I was at the game. He started last year. He threw it over everybody's head by 5 yards every single time.
All right, well, give him a chance. He's probably scared. His offensive line was
Of
terrible.
course he was scared. He's running for his life. That's
Yeah.
my point.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. We'll see. Put him on the Eagles and let's see what happens.
All right.
Okay, put him on the Eagles and let's see. That's all I'm going to say.
Jason backs his guys,
Of
man.
course I will.
appreciate
'Cause
that.
look, I put the time in to watch the film. I know what the
I know
guy
you do.
is. I know,
And I respect your football opinion.
and I'm usually right about these type of
you
things.
usually are.
Because I see it. I'm not making this up. I've seen the dude get outside the. I've seen the dude play for the Browns and hit Terrell Pryor on a 15-yard comeback route outside the pocket. The dude can hit the passes.
You have to figure that our defense right now is like their mouths are watering.
My boy Tay Hayes, who got a pick last week.
Yeah, like
needs
everybody
water.
on our defense. I
Yeah.
don't care who you are. If you played last year against Kessler as the secondary or whatever,
Maybe that's why Gerard Wilson wanted to play.
maybe
He's
he
like,
knew
hey,
that
you know
ahead of
what?
time.
I'm
He's
gonna
like,
get out of there.
"Oh."
I'm gonna get me a pick.
He's like, I know everything that guy's gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna destroy it. I mean, you think
I mean, maybe.
they probably find out before us, right? Obviously,
yeah, probably.
yeah.
I'm
could
sure
be.
they've already had the conversation last night about who's playing and who's not. But
So, what would be your positives from tomorrow night as a Jags fan?
what what do you mean?
I mean, what if you watch the game,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody's down about it, man. Honestly,
Mhm.
everybody at work,
Yeah.
everybody I talk to is I don't care. I'm not gonna watch it. I'm like, well, the Jags are playing. Football's back. We got to get excited at some point.
Yeah.
And Maroon's kind of nerfed that a little bit by not playing anybody wants to see, but I'm still excited. Football's back. You know.
Yeah. I mean, you can't replace football. I mean, especially
can't.
after that trash AAF product they tried to put out there. In the meantime,
True.
UCF Okay, I'll answer your question in a second. UCF Jaguar says on YouTube Live, "Keep up the great work, guys. Can't wait to listen to your coverage during the season." Thank you, UCF Jaguar. Right back at you. So the positive. This is what the positives for me is going to be. I want to see Josh Allen play well. I want to see him play like he did last week. He doesn't need to get a sack. He just needs to be disruptive.
Yeah.
I want to see Will Richardson use his hands, because rumor has it he has hands. I want to see Jeff Swaim line up. I want to see a tight end line up
Go down the same.
at the Y position.
Yeah.
So I don't want to see him in the F as a fullback. I don't want to see him on the end line. I want to see someone lined up out wide. I know that's Josh Allen's position. I'm sorry. I know that's Josh Oliver's position, but I I want to see something out of the tight end position. If we're going to run 2 tight end sets, then that's what we got to do. I want to see a little bit of more diversity in DeFlippo's formations.
I don't think you're going to see that, but I see your point.
I don't mean diversity where like a bunch of different formations. I just want to see formations that suit our offense.
Like more like vanilla packages that fit what we're going to run.
Yeah, like I get, like say you want to use Fournette a lot. I still don't like the 2 tight end sets. I would rather you have 1 tight end and then a slot receiver. Because if you put a slot receiver out there, you got to put a nickel corner out there.
Yeah, the defense has got to
Right.
worry about both.
So I would rather have a slot receiver blocking a nickel corner than I would want to have a tight end blocking a linebacker, because our backups tight ends is going to be O'Shaughnessy, Koyak, one of these guys. So
Fair point.
that's what I'm kind of hoping to see.
I'll tell you what I'd like to see. I'll answer my own question on that. I would like to see Chark bust a big play, because he should be playing by all accounts, right?
Yeah, I mean, he played.
And he's our number 2 at this point by all accounts. I want to see him do something, not on special teams. I want to see him do something wide receiver wise, where he's just not open. They get them the ball and he busts something out. And I would like to see, dude, like we just look like we know how to play football more than we did last week. Less penalties, special teams knowing where they're at. Like last week, we just looked like we were just a mess as far as like general stuff goes.
Yeah.
So I would like to see us be more cohesive and more organized in
Less
general.
errors.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
like that. That's a good answer. Brent Papino says he would love to see the wide receivers catch the ball.
Fair enough, Brent. But I mean, if you've got Minshew, 15 yards in, maybe. I mean,
He says if they catch every ball thrown their way, then he will buy us food for the next podcast.
Brent.
Like I would,
Every ball?
I would get excited about that.
Can we
but
go like
there's
90%?
0%
Every ball,
chance
Brent?
that happens.
That's like I'm gonna throw this out there. It's never gonna happen. Like, can we go 90%, please? Let's go.
Oh, 90. Can we get a percentage on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate
No,
the
I don't
offer
think
there,
that
Brent.
happens. Well, anything else you're excited about for the game?
I'm excited. It's one more game closer to actual real football.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like every year I'm super excited, super pumped. But again, I think this year could be very special. I mean, our defense is back. We've got almost all the key components. We got a better quarterback. I mean, it could be like 2017 with a better quarterback if everybody stays healthy.
That's the hope, for sure. We are going to be watching the game, for sure. I'll probably be tweeting live during it, so if you want to interact, we'll be watching it. Make sure that you support our sponsors we have on the show. They're great to us. We're on Big Cat Country. We're on Overtime Network podcast. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Another Jags Pod and Facebook and Instagram at Another Jags Podcast. Our social media is a good outlet to stay in touch with us. Any comment you write, any question you ask, we will definitely read. We did have a question from David Elizondo, and he's at Elizondo David. And I'm sorry we missed it, but he sent it as a message, so I totally forgot about it. But we will
answer it right now. Really?
Okay. I was gonna say we'll say
just
it for
said
next
we
one.
answer every question, and then you're gonna say we answer it next time.
Fine, let's do it.
Sorry, Jason.
I was gonna close this out, but I guess we'll
That was a partial close.
partial close. Well, I like that. All right. He said if you had to pick an O-line on the team to protect you from Aaron Donald, who would it be? That's a good question.
I mean, it would be Norwell, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's who you hope. You're
Yeah.
paying him $1 billion a
Yeah.
year. I mean, he hasn't shown that he could. I mean, honestly, I don't think anybody on our team could stop him consistently. But
What if you double teamed him with Norwell and Linder?
yeah, absolutely.
You think we got him
I
there?
mean, Linder's a big enough body, and Norwell is a big enough talent to where you could. But
So what's the contracts on that? That's was that an $80 million contract and a $50 million contract?
yeah, and
Blocking a.
actually, our two guys are making way more than him.
Are they though?
Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't Donald making like 130?
Oh, you're right.
I think they're about even.
they're about even.
so
So it's a good matchup. Yeah, they
we
would
got-
dominate him.
We got 130 million blocking about 130 million. That's it. I
But
like
man
that.
on man, I mean, that guy, he's a Hall of Famer already. I mean, right? Pretty much.
Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Poof.
He does like 2-3
Yeah.
more seasons like he
Yeah.
has. I mean, he's a Hall of
Yeah.
Famer. I mean,
Yeah.
he is like the best of all time. So I think man to man, like there's nobody. But I think Norwell should be the guy that could at least distract him enough to where we get the ball off or the guy gets out of the pocket or whatever.
Suave's Culture on YouTube Live says,
Man,
yo.
they just keep coming.
Says, yo.
Yo.
What's up, dude?
Yo,
you being
Jags.
here. I hate that you caught us when I was trying to end it, but Joey didn't let me.
No, I'm not going to let you. You just literally said we answer all of our questions and then said we'll answer this one next week. I can't let you get away
I
with that.
forgot about it till literally just now.
Well, okay, but that's fine.
Hopefully he hears it now that we're into the hour. Like, we didn't even take a second break.
We didn't.
So I'm probably going to
Our
have to.
sponsors are going to be upset about that.
Well, I'm just going to have to add one abruptly in the middle of our conversation.
Nah.
Our fans won't mind.
Won't even notice. But now are we all done?
No, he had another question. Who's the backup nickel corner on team week 1? It's got to be Quentin Meeks, right? I mean, I think Revis. I would love to see Revis out there, but
Honestly,
he's more of a safety.
Yeah.
And I think it's Quentin Meeks. And Quentin Meeks is all right. He's okay.
He's a serviceable backup.
I mean, it's him or Trey Herndon, and Quentin Meeks I think has outplayed Herndon in every facet.
Herndon has shown nothing.
Yeah. And then who's the starting linebacker other than Miles Jack for week 1? You know what? You know the answer to that question, and then you let us know, and we will be millionaires because I'll put a bet on that. But
I mean, that's the $1 million question, right?
Jake Ryan, right?
Hopefully he's healthy enough. I mean, Jake Ryan in his knee.
Yeah, I mean, Najee good. That would not be good if Najee Good was the starter.
Okay, we are officially done with the podcast based on that joke. But no, absolutely correct. I mean, that's a good question. And no, dude, it's Miles Jack. I mean, that's it.
Yeah. Miles
That's
Jack and maybe Quincy Williams. That'd be nice.
Yeah, he's going to be back
Yeah.
for sure. That's
Yeah.
just a meniscus.
I want to see him play.
He's not
I
Andrew
really do.
Luck. He heals quick.
All right, we got to get out of here. All right, thank you guys for listening. Make sure to follow us on all those social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube Live. We do all of our shows live on YouTube. You can watch us and watch us in real time with like a bunch of errors and blunders and and all that stuff
encores.
that we cut out on the podcast. So make sure to go and watch our YouTube on that and subscribe to that. Our subscriber count helps the more that we have.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We will be back, and we'll do a breakdown episode after we play the Eagles, and we look forward to that. And as always, go Jags.
Go Jags.